What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are doing every superhero movie reviewed and ranked. This is a series that we've been talking about for a while that we wanted to do.
Oh yeah.
Where we basically just go through all of, these great and terrible superhero movies from the last 50, 60 years and just see what we think of them now, really sitting down, analyzing them.
Yeah, and I think just as like a rule of thumb, we're gonna go strictly with theatrical releases. We could lump in that stupid Captain America movie from the 90s where he has rubber ears.
The full bike helmet, dude.
So not down.
Originally, we were going to start off our series with the Reeves Superman movie. After some, talking about it and some debating, we decided we got to start with, the original OG, the Batman with Adam West. We kind of both went into it a bit like rolling our eyes.
Really apprehensive.
To our surprise, we had a freaking blast with this movie.
It was pretty fucking fun. We're for sure, we were apprehensive. I'm sure I'm gonna have liked this more than, when we get to, Ghost Rider or something.
Big time.
But yeah, it was fun, man.
It was fun.
It was fun.
Follows Batman and Robin, the dynamic duo, taking down all of their worst enemies, the Rogues Gallery, Penguin,
Joker, Catwoman, Riddler.
All teaming up to try to take Batman down in the most campy, over-the-top fucking plot scenarios ever.
Such bullshit, bro.
One thing throughout this movie that we both thought was absolutely hilarious was that a big part of the villain's plot is to basically send Selena Kyle as a freaking different alias under the name of...
Her name is... She's playing a Russian heiress named Miss Kitka.
Miss Kitka.
My friends call me Kitka.
Kitka. Kitka.
And they send this Miss Kitka to basically, lure Bruce Wayne into different traps, and it's so obviously Catwoman, but it's just 60s
but he's also so obviously Batman.
Exactly.
So
at least some of the funniest gags of the movie.
It's so bizarre, dude, because it's kind of interesting because I didn't think about this when we were watching it. It makes a weird dichotomy between... I'm using big words, eh?
Big boy words today. Damn.
It's kind of it's a weird contrast between Batman throughout the whole movie always being on top of everything and being really to the point and no nonsense. He gets everything done right. And then Bruce Wayne in every scene is just detrimentally horny.
Nah, I don't know what they were doing. We've read and heard some stories of Adam West back in the 60s.
Oh, yeah, he was slanging.
And it just makes me think that they just, fucking said action and let Adam West do his thing. Because he looks down horrendous in the majority of the movie,
Every time he's looking at Catwoman, he looks like a crackhead.
It's freaking crazy. At one point, his face is pressed up against hers.
Yeah.
And she doesn't seem fully into it.
No, she's still talking and he's just on her face like this.
Like a full-on cat, dude.
Okay, so I'm gonna set the scene. They're in a horse-drawn carriage that Bruce Wayne is definitely paying for. They start talking about close your eyes and imagine what would be your
perfect dream.
Your perfect dream. Mm-hmm. And he's so obviously just thinking about them banging.
Yeah.
And she goes his eyes are closed and he's just in it, and then she asks him something about what do you see in your dream or whatever, and he goes
It approaches a climax.
Not yet. Not so fast. Be more slow.
It's approaching climax.
Yeah.
What?
I know.
May I see you home to that borrowed penthouse apartment?
Bruce Wayne being down terrible for Catwoman the whole movie is definitely one of the highlights. And
it's the funniest thing ever.
It all comes together at the very end. Catwoman gets knocked down just as Batman and Robin are saving the day.
Yeah, and her mask falls off.
Her mask falls off and he's he has a vertigo moment where he's can't believe that Catwoman is Miss Kitka. And it's his world shatters. And both of us hysterically laughed at this moment because you can see his entire fucking like world is crumbling.
No, it literally
like,
feels like Adam West just like
dude,
got broken up by
he's
the
like back in Crime Alley. His like parents just got bodied. Like,
what was
like,
the worst trauma for Adam West Batman? Is it the Waynes dying, or is it his girl is Catwoman?
And his entire world is coming down. And what does Robin say? He says like,
oh, you see, he goes, holy heartbreak.
Holy heartbreak, Batman.
Holy heartbreak.
Such a bad friend.
good.
Imagine he got dumped and I said, holy heartbreak.
Unfortunately, like, after that point, the whole movie just tanks.
Falls apart.
Yeah.
I wanted to turn it off. The 4 villains get this plan to like dehydrate. So like there's like a fake United Nations in the movie which has like 9 world leaders all from like the most popular countries, I guess. And
Yeah.
like the villains devise a plan to dehydrate them, which they just have a gun that turns them into sand. Like, the way they resolve the plot is by rehydrating them.
Essentially, like, the whole movie's great when the villains are, like, the main focus and main, like, struggle for Batman and Robin to, you know, tackle and get a hold of.
Yeah.
And as soon as they capture the villains, this plot line is still active where they're like, back to the Batcave, Robin, we have to rehydrate them. Like, up until that point, it's just, like, joke after joke, just campiness, stacked on campiness.
And they all hit.
Yeah, like, in their own way.
Most of
you know
them.
what I mean?
Most of them.
And then it just comes to a grinding halt, and I feel like that's really, like, the last 15 minutes are really the only part of the movie that I didn't really enjoy fully.
Yeah, like, fully lost me.
Because it gets so serious, and it's, like, it's so dramatic. Like, they have all, like, you know, this board of directors of, like, the world nations or whatever, like, waiting to see if they're gonna rehydrate them. They have this, like, really big contraption, and they're setting it up.
Yeah, and, like, every country in the world is, like, watching it happen, like, oh,
Yeah,
please
like,
rehydrate like our
anticipation.
Prime Minister.
You know what I mean? And then they finally do it, and then we get into, like, some controversial territory.
When they're about to rehydrate all the world leaders, Batman says, like, I'll input, like, their ethnic and nationality information into the computer so it, like, won't get confused. And then Robin comes with this out-of-pocket question, like, oh, Batman, don't you think we could, like, fuck around with the information a bit to, like, make them better?
Yeah.
And you're like, no.
Yeah.
And Batman's like, no.
Yeah.
So then...
It's time to move on to Jason Todd.
Yeah.
It's time to drop
It's
dead.
time to get another
No,
Robin.
for real. Like, and promote him to Nightwing.
No, but it's like Batman gives Robin like the most basic like no, like that would be wrong explanation. And Robin's
Yeah.
like, gosh darn it, Batman. When you put it that way,
You're right.
racism is wrong. You know, and you're like, okay, dog.
Yeah, but it gets even weirder because at the very end when they do rehydrate them, something fucks up with the machine and all the different countries start speaking like different
Like they
languages.
swap languages with some of them.
Gentlemen, in the interest of peace, you must hear me out. You must Rotzin Shalom. Rock Shalom. Shalom.
Es ist ausgeschlossen. Mein Land möchtet Frieden. Hören Sie mich bitte.
Which is like, you know, like, we were discussing it earlier. You know, it's the 60s, and they use this as kind of like a moment to, like, kind of poke fun at the world leaders, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they all start talking these different languages. And it's clear they're kind of, like...
It's tongue-in-cheek, you
It's
know?
tongue-in-cheek a little bit, like the Germans are speaking, you know, Hebrew. It's just,
yeah.
like, a little bit like, oh, I don't know.
It's so iffy.
I think
dog.
back then it was probably people, you know, in the 60s movement, you know, 20 years after the war, was very, like,
Yeah.
anti-war, anti-government, all this shit, and
Definitely.
it probably hit a lot more. Watching it today, that it did not hold up.
Nah, dude, it's brutal. It's like kind of played off as a gag,
Mm.
but then like Batman, like Adam West didn't get the memo that it was like a joke, so he's like super serious and he's like,
super proud.
it's like now that the languages are swapped, it looks like the world's like finally going to be a
Yeah.
better place now.
Maybe the greatest single service ever performed for humanity. Our job is finished.
Job well done.
Yeah, he says we've done our jobs here, and then the movie ends.
The movie ends with the most hilarious, awkward shot of Adam West and Burt Ward, like, just shimmying their way down this building.
Like very slowly, like
Well, let's get into some things that we liked. The entire opening, of the movie was
Fire.
just great. Yeah. You know, like going into the movie, like we were saying before, kind of both a bit nervous, a bit apprehensive, a bit of like, okay, you know, let's get through this. Let's get to the next episode. And the opening scene, just like it felt like the animated series cartoon from the 90s, like brought to life.
Very noiry, very
noir.
grungy, like PI detective stuff.
I almost like want a whole like movie of Adam West in that tone. It just honestly felt like I was looking at a comic book.
I agree. Dude, like another highlight for me was the freaking music in this movie, dude.
Incredible.
Like, absurd.
Incredible.
Dude, that like
one thing that we kind of liked and disliked a little bit, Gotham City but in most recent movies have been all based on major
real life cities.
You know, you had like the Dark Knight trilogy with Chicago.
Chirac.
Yeah, you have the Batman with New York.
Yeah.
And in this one, it's just like straight up Los Angeles.
It's like downtown LA and
it's
then like just like suburbs
like
around
you see
it.
them like driving through like the Florida Keys and shit. It's like, what is happening right now? And so that was like a bit jarring, but also like the Batman that we know nowadays isn't at all like it was back then. We gotta get into the shark repellent. We gotta just get out of the way.
Yeah, okay. Batman has bat shark repellent. Yeah.
That's it.
That's like...
But one thing that's so funny about that scene, which we didn't even... Like, I think this was the first time I've ever noticed it.
Yeah.
Is when Batman's like, Robin, hand me the bat shark repellent. And Robin,
Classic.
like, shimmies his way down this ladder and does the most, like over-the-top maneuver to hand him this repellent. He, like, hangs by his legs, flips upside down. It's like, dude, Batman's getting eaten alive. Hurry up.
Batman's leg has been in a rubber shark for 3.5 minutes and Robin's doing his, like, best Magic Mike impression.
I know. You know, we gotta get that scene out of the way. Another iconic scene that we gotta talk about.
Tell me.
The bomb scene.
What the fuck was that?
Like,
I don't know, dude. Like, when I was little, that was, like, super funny.
Yeah.
But, like, it was, like, 3 minutes.
Another thing that was, like, a super big plus for this movie, the props and the vehicles.
Oh, dude.
So good. Like, everyone knows the 60s Batmobile. It's iconic.
It's
you know,
goated.
if I could have any car in the world, if you could have any car in the world, we're pulling up in that fucking Batmobile.
Yeah, with the red.
But, like, damn, they have some good-ass, like... vehicles in this show, man, in this universe.
The Batboat and the Batcopter.
Nah, dude, the Batboat is filthy.
Yeah, with like the little Hot Wheels like
Filthy,
fire on
dude.
the side.
The Batcycle is kind of like the worst vehicle, mostly just because Robin is like awkwardly squatting in it.
No, dude, like he's supposed to be in a sidecar, but like...
Dude, he's holding on for
He's
dear
a
life.
grown man, bro. He doesn't even like have a seat. He has to like get on his hands and knees and like just hold on while he's like...
He's holding on for dear life, dude. But yeah, the vehicle is definitely a plus.
Agreed.
Definitely a plus. And
All
also
the props too.
Not only Batman's vehicles, but the villains throughout the whole movie hide out in a penguin submarine.
That is
and it's
so fire.
It's so stupid. But it's amazing at the same time. And that's
really good.
That's exactly how I would describe like Adam West Batman in this movie.
It's so fucking stupid, but I love
You're
it.
loving every second of it.
Yeah.
We should talk about the villains.
Yes, I agree.
Because the villains are a huge part of the movie, and it's, I think, a huge part of what was so successful about the show.
Mm-hmm.
And also, well, just Batman as a character in general, you know what I mean? His stories are only as good as the villains. Everyone's heard that before.
Yeah.
And all of them are great in their own way, you know what I mean? You got, like, Catwoman being the kind of sly, like, femme fatale kind of character. You got, you know, Riddler being...
An eccentric maniac.
Yeah, as Riddler is even today.
Absolutely.
And Penguin, you know, being the kind of, you know, boss orchestrator of this
which
whole
I'm not
villain group.
Which I'm not super dead set on.
Yeah.
But
and they all have their time to shine, except for Joker. He kind of like, it's weird because nowadays Joker is like such like the main villain that everyone thinks about when they think of Batman, you know, the guy behind everything, all that kind of thing. And he's kind of sidelined in this movie.
He's got
weird.
like 4.5 lines.
Yeah, and it's all, the villain group is primarily led by, you know, the Penguin.
Yeah. You could take Joker out of the movie and it's the exact same, honestly. You were right about that.
But like Riddler comes in with the riddles. Penguin has the submarine. Catwoman is like distracting Bruce with like, you know, Kitka, this alternate persona.
What's Joker doing?
Joker,
He's getting tea for like their kidnapping.
That felt disrespect. Like I know it's
extremely disrespectful.
It's not the same Joker as we know now.
Yeah.
And obviously it's like hard to not judge it in that way.
It's still him,
but it's
though.
like Joker getting tea for someone feels like wrong. Speaking of villains, we have to talk about the riddles because they offered some of the most laugh out loud moments of the entire movie where it was either us cackling or just looking at each other like like there was no in between.
No, because like they just don't make sense. Like they're not riddles. They're just awful jokes that Batman and Robin like telepathically know the answers to.
They don't telepath. Dude, they like twist like the answer to their will.
Oh no, like they're Olympic gold medalists for like jumping to conclusions.
Exactly.
It's so bad.
Look at this pair of joking riddles.
What does a turkey do when he flies upside down?
He gobbles up.
Of course.
Nah, there's just like so many great lines throughout the movie. Like, so there's one hilarious riddle that we both hysterically laughed at, where the riddle goes, what weighs 6 ounces, sits in a tree, and is very dangerous? And Robin goes,
A sparrow with a machine gun.
Yes, of course.
A sparrow with a machine gun.
And they're like, that must be it.
No way! And they're all like freaking out.
That's
and
so
Commissioner
bad.
Gordon has this like sidekick throughout the movie who always makes the funniest expressions throughout these scenes where they're figuring out the riddles.
Batman deduces that like 4 villains are working together, which has like never is like unheard of, I guess, that they never all work together in the show. Commissioner Gordon asks like, oh, what do you think they're after, Batman? And he's like, Gotham City? And he's like, oh, if it were only 2 of them, I'd say yes. And then like he goes, oh, you think they're after the whole country? And he's like, if it were 3, I think that would be so. But 4 of them? No, Commissioner. I dare say they're after the entire world. And Chief O'Hara goes,
oh my
so
god. Honestly, there's moments like that just make the movie so much better. I enjoy 95% of the movie, personally.
Yeah. There is something like really comforting about it.
You know, I have the perfect way to describe this. This is the type of movie that you'd watch like during a thunderstorm. You know what I mean? It's like raining outside.
Super cozy.
You get a little cozy, you get a little cocoa mug ready, you put on Adam West and Burt Ward, and they're just spewing the most ridiculous lines ever.
Yeah, but overall, I think this was a dub for our first watch.
Honestly, like a really solid first watch for me. Like, I know for a fact we haven't gone to some of these movies, and some of the movies on this list I haven't even seen.
Yeah, I'm scared for some of them, for sure.
But I know for sure this one is not in the bottom tier.
It might not even be like bottom half.
No, definitely not. It was really enjoyable.
I'll gladly watch this over like some of the recent ones.
That's what's so funny is that like this is a 60s like
joke film
Batman movie, and we watched Ant-Man Quantumania like a few weeks ago, and I had a far better time watching this movie than I did with that movie.
Night and day.
Like this movie is really enjoyable. It's super campy in the best and worst ways possible.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it has Adam West, fucking God bless his soul, like, you know what I mean? Like, legend.
Yeah.
Legend in the flesh.
Mm-hmm.
And just a great movie. Just, I would say just have in the background, or if you're just feeling very campy, nostalgic, and just want a nice, heartwarming piece of Batman content, you know? Yeah. That's not, like, super dark. But I will say there were a few moments in this movie where, like, Bruce Wayne Batman became a little bit psychotic.
Oh, dude, are you talking about like his murderous side?
Yeah.
So whenever anyone threatens Batman's love interest, which is like Catwoman's fake persona, he gets this like murderous, like protective energy around him. When one time he goes, there's a scene where Bruce Wayne is kidnapped by all the other villains, including Catwoman, but he doesn't like recognize her, or she's like out of the room or whatever. And, like, he asks them, like, what happened to Miss Kitka? and they're like, she's like in the other room or whatever, and he goes,
I swear by heaven, if you've harmed that girl, I'll kill you all.
if you harmed that girl, I'll kill you all. You're like, no, you won't.
Nah, man.
Like, come on, Batman.
Straight up, like, scary, dude. Like, I would not want to be locked in a room with Adam West when he's in that kind of state.
No, like,
You're
truly,
not coming out alive.
everything he said in the movie was, like, funny and, like, you're just, like, going along with it, and then he says that, and you're like,
Yeah.
whoa, that's not from this movie.
Yeah, and then at another point in the movie, he's, like, talking with Robin about the same kind of thing. You know, if the villain's, like, harm Miss Kit Kat, he's like, I'll brutally bash him.
Yeah.
I'll bash him brutally.
Then we
Like, and you're like, whoa! Great start to this series, guys. If you want to follow along and check out, our next set of videos, and they're going to come quick, please hit the subscribe button. Please! We need 50 freaking subscribers, dude.
Are you not at 50?
No, I'm at like 34, and like 3 of those are like burger accounts that I own. No, but guys, if you want to see the next set of videos, we're going with the Superman #1, 1976?
78.
1978.
Yeah.
That's the next one on our list. Super excited. I've never seen it, actually.
Crazy.
So I'm freaking pumped to
Oh,
watch it.
I think we'll enjoy it.
I think so too.
Nice.
If you guys want to see it, make sure not to miss out. Hit the subscribe button. Like the video. Please! Please! Like and subscribe. Share with a friend. You know what I mean?
Or like multiple
Watch
friends.
it. Watch it multiple times.
Yeah.
On rewatch.
Like
And,
it. Comment multiple times.
Exactly. And
show your mom.
let us know in the comments, what you thought of the movie too, if you've seen it, and what movies you're excited to see us review and rank. Anyway, guys, stay tuned for the next one. We're like the Spider-Man meme right now.
Yeah, we have 3 different cameras, by the way.
Yeah, we're big time now.
Fucking so fire.
Yeah.